Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lufthansa Technik and its crew, I'd like to welcome you to a short flight through the APM adoption at Lufthansa Technik today. My name is Olaf Schönfeld. I will be a speaker on this flight, and I'd like to invite you to lean back and enjoy this flight with me. So we're a little late in departure now, so I will hurry up. Kidding aside. As I already mentioned, my name is Olaf Schönfeld. I do not work for Lufthansa Technik, which I present today. I work for Lufthansa Industry Solutions. It's another company in the Lufthansa Group. I work there as a project manager and a senior technical consultant. The agenda for today is I would like to talk a little bit about the Lufthansa Group, Lufthansa Technik, and also Lufthansa Industry Solutions to introduce you. All of you might know Lufthansa Group, hopefully, but not all might know the details behind the Lufthansa Group, the divisions, and so on. I show a few slides regarding that. Then we go inside the Lufthansa Technik product division that the applications are made for. They work with the applications. We go inside why and how Lufthansa Technik came up to use and to adopt an APM solution, AppDynamics. I'll show you a few benefits, a few examples of benefits of the very early and later phases of this adoption. And I would like to give you some best practices from this Lufthansa Technik project we made. Let's start with the Lufthansa Group. Lufthansa Group is divided in 5 big divisions. First of it is Lufthansa Passage. It's all about the passengers. You all, if you travel with Lufthansa, have direct contact to the Lufthansa Passage. It's the check-in, it's the crews, it's the captains also, and the most it's the airplanes. To the Lufthansa Passage part, there belongs a lot of more than the Lufthansa airline. There also belongs the Eurowings, the German wings, also the Swiss and Austrian airlines, and also some regional airlines, for example, Dolomite Airlines, and also Lufthansa City Line. Next part is the logistics. They have the airplanes without windows. They do the air transportation, the air freight. From standard freight to sometimes very complicated freight, for example, to transport horses, running horses and sports horses to the Olympic Games. Sometimes very difficult freights they have to deliver. Third part is the Lufthansa Technik. Just in short terms, maintenance, repair, and overhaul. I will come back to this and explain what's behind maintenance, repair, and overhaul. Fourth part is the catering, known as LHT Sky Chefs. It's all about food, but it's more than food. It's also all the equipment that's belonging to the food, like the warming boxes, like the trolleys you see in the airplane. Also the deskware in the airplane comes from the catering part, Lufthansa Sky Chefs. Fifth part, perfect name, other activities. Maybe you saw this on other slides. If you saw Lufthansa slides as IT services, I will explain why there's, meanwhile, other activities. To other activities belongs a very important part, Lufthansa flight training, the training simulators, the training for the crews, the water bassins for emergency exit from the airplane. That's all in Lufthansa flight training. Lufthansa Air Plus is a little bit simplified, a bank. And another part of other activities is Lufthansa Industry Solutions, where I am from. So I'm going to start with the Lufthansa Industry Solutions. Lufthansa Industry Solutions is an IT consulting company. Was originally, until March of this day, a part of the Lufthansa Systems Group. In March of this part, a big part of the Lufthansa Systems Group, the infrastructure part, was outsourced to IBM. What stayed in Lufthansa Group is the Lufthansa Industry Solutions as IT consulting company. We do strategic, architectural, process, and also technical consulting. We do development, and we do application management, application operations. This part of the Lufthansa systems that time was founded in 1997. Today we have nearly 1,000 consultants in the different parts of the consulting and 150 customers worldwide. Head center is in Norderstedt. No one will know Norderstedt, I think. Ono will know. Norderstedt is a small city, a little bit in Germany, a little bit in north of Hamburg. Yes. Around about 50% of our revenue we do within the Lufthansa Group, and the other 50% totally outside the Lufthansa Group on different industries, like you see on the slides in the lower right corner. It's automotive, it's transportation, it's travel, it's also healthcare and things like this. It's all the other touristic unternehmens, and also what's missing on this belongs to travel is hospitality. For example, infrastructure and also infotainment solutions for hotels, for cruise ships like AIDA, like celebrity cruises like Disney. That's where we deliver our services. But let's talk about a larger company in the Lufthansa Group. My customer, Lufthansa Technik. Lufthansa Technik operates more than 30 locations worldwide with different companies that belonging again to the Lufthansa Technik Group. Why 31 locations? One point is cost efficiency, sure. Another point is to stay near or to be near to the customers, to have a face to the customers. And as you see, this is they have nearly 800 customers worldwide. They have more than 3,000 aircrafts in maintenance contracts. What's roundabout is side information, around about 10% of all the aircraft business worldwide. Lufthansa Technik has near to 30,000 employees, 28,800. From these 28,000 employees, there are 12,000 in Germany, around about 12,000 in Germany. And of these 12,000 are around about 8,000 in the headquarter and the main operation base in Hamburg. Lufthansa Technik, again, always 5 divisions, is divided in 5 divisions. First division is called Aircraft Services, Maintenance and Overhaul. What is the difference? Maintenance means all what are very short-term repairs. We do this in the most cases at the airports where the planes are. No one flies thousands of kilometers for a small repair. It's like a seat fixing or something else. That's the maintenance part. The overhaul part, there are some locations worldwide where we do that. These are the much longer and more complex repair parts. For example, restructuring, working on the shell of the airplane and things like this. Second division is engine service. It's separated because engines are a very complex asset in the airline business. There's not much renew and changing. Engines are really repaired. Lufthansa Technik also developed some own repair techniques for these airplanes. Some special. They are allowed to do that. And so there are only very few locations where we can do these engine repairs. Third part is a very complex part, component services. It regards or this is about all the components you have in an airplane. It's very cost extensive business for manufacturing costs and also for the warehousing costs. We do this for Lufthansa and we do this for a lot of other airlines in open or closed circles. That means they send parts in and get the parts back, and a closed circle is if they only can get their parts back. An open circle is if they can get any part that fits the fortnight's back. What do I mean cost intensive? For example, a single window in the Airbus 380, a single small window, might all know Airbus 380, has manufacturing costs of about $10,000, just a single window. So most airlines do not do this themselves, the warehousing, the manufacturing, and they often give it to Lufthansa. By the way, what do you think what a first class, to talk about very special and individual components in an airplane? A lot of airlines use the first seat class seats as a very unique selling point. What do you mean what a first class seat in a Lufthansa A380 airplane might have manufacturing costs? Any ideas? 100? More than 100? 100 is not bad, Ono, thank you. It's nearly $250,000 manufacturing cost of a first-class seat in a Lufthansa with, yeah, it's with all the motors and with all the walls you can move. If we have enough time at the end, I'm going to tell about the first-class seat. Next division, I think I have to hurry up. Next division is landing gear services. I don't want to talk that much about that. Also, landing gears are, like engines, a very complex asset. An interesting point, we do landing gear services in the United States at Hawker Pacific. It's in Sun Valley, near Los Angeles. Hawker Pacific is the company that does, within the Lufthansa Technik Group, that does this landing gear services. Last division is VIP executive jet solutions. The customers of this division are sometimes individual persons that need a VIP jet, and also governments. There is, inside this division, there's a totally rebuilding of the airplanes. Most interesting thing for me is that every airplane that comes in, maybe new from the manufacturer or an old airplane that will be rebuilt, will be totally measured and gets a digital copy. With this digital copy, we go in a room and an IT environment we call the cave. It's a kind of 3D cabin mock-up. So you can put the measures inside and build in a virtual reality, and also take the customer in this virtual reality. Yeah, but let's start talking about a little bit IT in this. One very important point for Lufthansa Technik is a lot of policies and guidelines that lead to the leading quality and responsibility. That's a very important guideline for Lufthansa Technik in a variety of topics, and this is also for the IT. Within a centralized IT, Lufthansa Technik has a centralized IT. There are IT solution domains for every of these operating divisions in Lufthansa. And the last years, it was restructured and started to apply this leading responsibility and quality also to the IT service. And one part of this is application management, and there comes comes in the application performance management. To these IT domains for the divisions, you can add another or a lot of other divisions within the IT. Very important is on the, you can't see it, on the lower right, the yellow one, application infrastructure service. That's the team where I'm working with. This team is the very beginning of all IPM services at Lufthansa Technik. We develop a platform and give the service to the others. Most customers, most users of application performance management come from application service and process domains. That are the application owners. We have around 200 application owners at Lufthansa Technik, and they are the users. They are responsible for development of the application, for maintenance of the application, for also for operations of the application, and starting the APM project, they are also responsible for the performance of these applications. All applications are operated 24/7 in an IT service center, and these IT service center guys are also users of the APM tools. What about the application environment? Lufthansa Technik nearly has 450 applications in operation, older, newer ones. About 140 applications of those you can call core applications. The guideline strategy at Lufthansa Technik is all new applications and all redeveloped applications will be written in Java. So we have 180 Java applications today, and for this project we have in scope around 100 to 120 of those 140 core applications that we want instrument and monitor with AppDynamics. Just a little bit infrastructure information. Most infrastructure is VMware vSphere in many clusters, and the database are nearly all on Oracle clusters in Standard and Enterprise Edition. So let's have a look at one application. You see it? It's not important to read the details. This is just a simple example of one single instrumented application of Lufthansa. And you can believe me, this is not a very complex application. It's only 4 nodes, 4 servers and nodes. It's only 4 nodes, 2 databases, and some HTTP backends. The specialist thing in this application is this is a very old application. This is a grown application, and the nodes and the databases to each other got very complex relations, and a lot of interfaces were implemented. We have a lot of these applications in that kind, not very complex itself, but extremely complex to manage. So we came up to the question, can we manage the information flow and the behavior of application at any time? Can we say we have this leading quality and responsibility and go in the responsibility to say we can manage our application at any time? We came to the result, no, we can't. We can't without additional tools, without additional helpings and other things. So that's where we came to, or how we came to see what challenges we have. We have the challenge to map the business process, the ongoing digitization of the business processes into the application metering. It was not possible before implementing or adopting an APM solution. We often had this point with perceived performance and perceived issues. We were often not sure, is there really an issue? Is there really a performance problem of the moment? It is only felt. Something else we did not have a metering, a measurement to prove if there's a performance problem or not. Unrepeatable, infrequent performance issues. You all might know these. It's very hard to engineer and to problem manage. There was always question in the development priority. Should we have priority in the function of the application? Should we have priority in the performance issues of the applications? Big questions was what are the synthetic performance testing that we are doing? Does it deliver the right metrics? Does it deliver right information? A lot of times it did not deliver the right information because it was not that was the user really experienced. We have to ensure performance and issue handling process, and we also want everyone does predictive. Lufthansa Technik also does predictive maintenance on the airplanes, but we do not predictive performance management. We do it for the availability and for the capacity, but we did not do it for the performance management. That's also a challenge Lufthansa Technik had. The overall challenge is that Lufthansa Technik and also other companies do not have enough resources for uncertain performance. We do not have enough employees to put them in task forces and to work on issues every day. We do not have enough money to take a loss of revenue if an application does not work for 2 or 3 days or does not perform. We also do not have enough time to afford a backlog in the business processes. If the business process has a backlog, there's not enough time to work on this backlog. And we also do not have enough reputation We also do not have enough reputation to afford applications that we deliver to our customer with a bad performance. Next step was that we come to the objectives. What were the objectives we want to reach with the APM? We wanted to find a solution that supports the incident handling and supports the data representation. We did not want to go down everywhere on the scratch and analyze. We want to have something that analyzes automatically and represents the data in a way we can use it. We want to improve the proactive management, problem management. We wanted, instead of using only synthetic measuring, we want to catch the real data, the real-time data from the user experience of the systems. So one important thing is that we needed a solution that is really usable on productive systems. In my opinion, this is a big difference, AppDynamics to other solutions, that you can really use in productive systems. We wanted to have context-sensitive analysis, and we need history data. We wanted to avoid individual performance management in the application and also in-code performance management and measuring. Some of our application owners started with their developer teams to develop performance measuring inside the application code, put it in a log file, building dashboards, individual solutions everywhere. It's very cost and time incentive, and you will never have a chance to bring these metrics together for a cross-application flow or anything else. That's what we wanted to avoid. Unified metrics, as I already said, for all core applications, and we want to view the cross-application flow for the business process. Minimum effort of manual configuration and initial training. What does it mean? For sure, if you go deep inside also AppDynamics, you will take time, you will take money, you have to learn, you have to try. But with AppDynamics, in my opinion, it is possible to just go online within a few hours. You can install, you can instrument, you can just start it up with a backend detection, with a business transaction detection, and sure, you will have benefits and you will see information you did not see before within hours. We wanted to support the business DevOps processes. I will come back to this point with an example. What we wanted to see overall is see, know, and act instead of before search and guess. Sorry to AppDynamics for using these terms in a different order, but this order is very important for us. Let's take a short look at the project. We started with the pre-study of APM tools, where comes up or comes out from that AppDynamics is a very, very high candidate, qualified candidate to become the APM tool for Lufthansa Technik. We made a selection of early applications, we called it. Early applications was those applications that we want to have in the trial. We plan to go with 4 or 5 or 6 applications to make a trial and then to decide. At the end of the test, we had more than 20 applications inside that testing. That's the reason why we needed 6 months to go from project to a product. How did it come to these applications? We had a real run. The first applications had the agents inside and had the benefits, and we had a real run, and always in hands, we want to try also. Every steering board, every management meeting came up with new application, take this, take that, take this, take this, put it in, give the agents to them. With this application, we did an evaluation in detail. And this came to a contract with AppDynamics. We did the implementation, the enablement in cooperation with AppDynamics for the core team that delivers the services to the internal customer. And we built up a qualification and education concept for the users, as I mentioned, the application owners, the developers, the operators. For the first step, we are now from project to IT product services. We have a roadmap for the ongoing development of application performance. I will show the picture in a larger version on the next slide. What we have in the first version of the product is quite simple. The first version of the product is 400 Java agents on the core applications of the Lufthansa Technik. Sure, about the roadmap, the yellow puzzle parts are that what we already have in place, the first version. While running up the product in the first version and operating those 400 agents, we are developing the second version of the product. There will come in addition cross-application flow, as I already mentioned. There we're going to evaluate and I think implement the end-user experience, real user experience from the browser side. We're also going to take a look at the database agent, and we have to look at the SAP. We have a lot of SAP services. Interface, there's no agent for SAP for sure, but the SAP stuff has their monitoring tools. We have our Java monitoring tools, and today there's a big gap between them. So they have to move a little bit, we have to move a little bit, and try to close this gap to have in best case, in cross-application flow to the SAP services also. We're going to care for integrating and reporting. On the one hand, we will catch some metrics and reports from the AppDynamics system to integrate in other reporting systems. On the other hand, we are planning to put additional data from other systems into the AppDynamics platform and take the reports out of the AppDynamics. Okay, later on in version, I don't know what the version will name, we surely will evaluate mobile monitoring and also analytics, and I think I have to redraw after the AppSphere because I saw a lot of interesting points that are coming up, and so I will have to redraw the picture for the version 4, 5, 6. We are ongoing developing the APM. Let's talk about some benefits. I have 3 examples of benefits Lufthansa Technik applications had from the project, from the evaluation, from this time when they were early application in my project. The first example is about refining a real business process with the help of the APM tools. What is this application? I'm talking about do. Oh, you didn't see the next. What does the application I'm talking about do? It is about entering and change material requests for the components division, material requests, for example, for customer's order, and does the logistic preparation in connection and interfaces with other teams. The challenge at this point in this application was that every request, every component that has to be delivered, has to be sent, has to be changed, has to be checked and approved by backend systems for a lot of policies and rules in the export. Every single component has to be checked. Is it allowed to export this in that company to that country? Very, very complex rule set and testing. What was the solution at this point? Supported by the APM solution, AppDynamics, there was a very, very fast identification of the time-consuming transactions. What is real time? Before we had AppDynamics in place for this application, we didn't even know that the checking of the export rules is that much time extensive and leads to a slow application. There was a backend service, but the only thing the user saw was the application front end. It didn't answer. With AppDynamics, we had the information within hours that in a lot of cases the export check is the problem. So we came together with the application owners, with the developers, and also, and that's the main point I think, also with the business process owner, and check, do we really have to check these export rules for every component? And they came up that also for the Lufthansa Passage, for deliveries in Germany, where we never have to check export rules, these rules are checked. And they changed the business process and leaded to much faster application. To be honest, the implementation in the application needed a longer time, but the analysis was within hours and days, the decision to change it. I have a second example. This is an example about a quick win in load balancing. Another application. What does this application do? This application is to fulfill manufacturers and regulatory compliance. It has implemented monitoring of engines and other parts in the airplane. We have to do a lot of documentation for that. Which part is in which airplane at which time, which building year, and how many flight hours, and so on. So the documentation of this of these installations in the airplanes is also in the systems. What was the challenge? The challenge is that very often during a year, sometimes more than once a month, there come up new rule set from the manufacturers, from other sides, from Regierung. Thank you. There come up a lot of rule sets that have to be applied into the application that the components can be checked for. Some of these changes lead to an amount of 40,000 scheduled update jobs within the job worker queue in this application, and that needs a really long time. Sometimes needed more than 2 days to apply a complex new rule set. What did we do? We put the AppDynamics agents on the system. And they come up that in some cases, this application has 3 application servers and an internal load balancing for the work queue. That in some cases, the load balancing did not work. Just one server was working and the other servers were sleeping. I have a big picture for this. On the left picture, you see in the red line is the whole working load. And the blue lines are the 3 application servers. There's a screenshot of one of these cases that only one server does the workload and all the other servers are nearly sleeping at this point. On the right picture, after the change, there are only 2 application servers left, 2 blue lines. It's because the left side is the production environment, right side is the consolidation environment. There you see, again, the red line, the red is the total workload and nearly 50% is on each server. This also came up within hours. In addition, we had some synchronous transactions that were very slow, that we were already also able to identify with AppDynamics and to work on this. Third example, business DevOps example. It's about a re-engineered, redeveloped application. And it's for information systems for hazardous materials and goods and the transportation regularities and the handling and so on. What was the challenge? We had to do a pre-release optimization of transaction, of user interfaces and the performance. To be honest, I would never write that on a slide, but to be honest, it was awful. It was really awful. They were in time delay. They had performance I never saw in other systems. There was no performance. All the stakeholders were unsatisfied. They changed the project manager, they changed developers, and there was no chance to get the timeline or to come up with this application. And the application that does this hazardous handling before was not able to take the new demands, functionality demands, and the new amount of data. So what did we do? We came in from the APM project, instrumented, and from this point there was a consistent usage of these APM tools. There were group-specific dashboards, group-specific metrics we provided and had standardized, and most of all we had impartial metrics. so that all stakeholders could see in the dashboards their metrics, they're important for them, but all the data, all the metrics were marshaled so that you can do decision in the steering boards, not on emotions, but on facts. Together from business, development, and operations, there were common analysis tasks where they aligned the optimization priorities. Do we have to work on the UI? Do we have to work on the transaction? Do we have to work on the database? Do we have to work on the business process? And so it came up at the end. This is a screenshot. No, start other. Unfortunately, when I made this screenshot, the two nodes of this application had a little bit problems. Might catch your attention, the right circle, but that is not the important point. This is a situation where came in a lot of new materials, and they run a little bit memory problems. The important, interesting thing I want to talk about is that we this is the screenshot from a 3-month operation of this application. And we have a normal transaction scorecard, nearly 200%. It's 89 something, the normal transaction scorecard. And we do not have a single transaction that exceeding a response time with 2000 milliseconds. And it's a great step for this application. Just far away from the red nodes. So, overall benefits. Let's have a look at some statements of our users, of our AppDynamics users from these early applications. It's from developers, it's from application owners, it's from operations. And let's see what they say and think regarding the usage of AppDynamics. Initial break-in is very fast. AppDynamics helps within minutes or hours. We already saw this in my example. Within hours, and detail of that, within hours we got database optimizations from the top business transactions. Performance moved from feeling to facts. In my opinion, a very important thing that you talk about facts and not about feelings in the issue management. Now it's possible to analyze in a cross-context way. It wasn't possible before. Some more statements. Before-after analysis became very important in evaluating a release's success. Before adopting AppDynamics, for us, it was nearly not possible to say what did the performance do within a release change. Was it slower? Was it faster? Now we have the history data and can compare the release versions against each other. Next statement, we are now able to prove which of our interfaces do not match their service levels. It's not only for better performance in the own application, it's also to prove if my partners around me have a good performance or do they have a bad performance that lead to a bad performance in my application. Very interesting for me, sometimes we use it for performance analysis stuff is written here, but mainly for code and usage analysis. Two of those application owners teams started to check what they get from the developer, the code, if they're code loops, long-running database. They started to check this code, this new codes, in a test environment with AppDynamics. They get in strict traces and check the code. Another point, okay, that's what some application owners say and developers. Hopefully all the Flash, maybe you think the same, maybe also the Flash parts in the AppDynamics UI should be removed very soon, but it's on your agenda, you already know. Yeah, my favorite is fast identification and slowest transaction. It's from a dear colleague that don't like a lot of words, don't like meetings. That can also be an overall statement, fastest identification of slowest transactions. I would like to give you some practices. In my opinion, adoption of an IPM solution and more of all AppDynamics is no rocket science. So you will not see nothing you never saw before at this point. But I learned a lot of things about AppDynamics, about the behavior of application owners in this project that I like to share with you. First point of all is involve. Involve AppDynamics, pre-sales, and support when you are evaluating these tools. What we learned is that we got a great support and a great cooperation with AppDynamics. And involve at your side the developers, the operation, and the business, and bring them together. The fastest and the best benefits we had when biz, dev, ops worked together on the metrics, together on the decisions, and together on the analysis. Bring them together very early. Next point is don't underestimate. Don't underestimate the reservations and fears, I would say in the first weeks when you're trying to evaluate and implement an APM solution. A lot of our developers had great reservations, great big fears when we implement an APM solution. They feel checked, they felt controlled, they didn't want it. It was a very hard time, the first weeks, to get them involved with this APM solutions. At the point when they got their first benefit and they talked about with other developers, there was no problem. So don't underestimate in the next step the speed that the APM services and demands from the users come mission critical. I heard about a project that had some problems to handle this rising demands. Next point is find ratings. Find ratings for quality improvements. I was in the glad case that Lufthansa Technik, for this, with leading responsibility in quality, is a company that looks most at the quality and in some cases or some less on the money. If you have a company you're implementing this for, make an early decision. What are the cases you want to prove that an APM solution doesn't only cost money? Also a hint on this, you can also involve AppDynamics at this point, in my opinion. They have a lot of experience with business value assessments. We also did it with AppDynamics together. And within these ratings and the decision you come and the steps in project, I would recommend to do implementation project, adoption project in an agile style. I try to make some parts of the project with a waterfall, just big lists and what are the formatments and what does it has to match and this and that. I learned very fast that my counterparts, the developers, are used to do agile projects, and so I changed completely the style of the project. Think about design. Just a shortcut. Start in the right mode. We started, all of you that already use AppDynamics will know what this means, started a multi-tenant mode. This, in my opinion, was a fault at this time. Had good reasons for that, but just start in a single tenant mode, put all your applications in there, you will have much more benefits in the cross-application analysis. Start with a single mode. If you operate on-premise, not in the cloud, like we do the whole thing on-premise, just think about and consider the sizing of your infrastructure. We had to rebuild our infrastructure for operate AppDynamics for some times. At this point, it's very important to know that this AppDynamics platform is an appliance. You have to put it on a single or two machines. This was a problem for us. We had to solve and just think and also involve AppDynamics to do the right sizing for your infrastructure running AppDynamics. Educate and train. Develop a scalable training concept very early. We did this. It's a mixture about a short explanation of the UI, to give some education parts, to do education together with AppDynamics enablement, to do education with AppDynamics University. Also, have this training concept ready and give it to the customer. The demand and the amount of users will rise very fast, and when you don't have a right training concept, it will be very hard to match these demands. Yes, and also implement at your company, at your customers, all your users of AppDynamics, implement and instruct it. You have to instruct it the first time, an internal community. And also try to build up community with other AppDynamics users. The benefits they share, the benefits they come up in the decisions, and what they teach each other is an additional large benefit for Lufthansa Technik that we have implemented this internal instructed community. So that's a few points I liked to share with you. We're now at the end of this implementation, this short overview about the adoption project of Lufthansa Technik. We have, I think, 5 minutes left. If you have questions, just feel free to ask questions.
So what's the next area in your roadmap?
Pardon?
What's the next products on your roadmap? Is it
Yeah.
user experience?
Yeah. I go back to slide. As I already mentioned, we have now up and running the machine agent and the Java agent, 400 licenses. We are right now in evaluation of the end user experience monitoring part, browser-based monitoring, also the Fed client, and the database agent. After that, we will come to the mobile user experience management and the analytics. A little louder.
What tools are you using for log management and correlation across all the applications?
What are we using for the cross-application management?
Log management.
Log management.
Log file.
Log file management. We have a own solution. At the moment, we have our own solution for log file consolidation and Elasticsearch on it, and with an own developed UI. But it's also planned to, in the part, there's some enhanced matrix puzzle part. In this part, there will be an evaluation to get the log files into AppDynamics.
What type of databases you have? Oracle, MySQL, what kind of databases?
What about MySQL? Yeah.
What kind of databases? Oracle,
For the AppDynamics systems or for the applications?
your applications.
Okay, our applications, nowadays nearly all of our applications that have databases run on Oracle, Standard or Enterprise edition with different Oracle clusters. It's because nowadays Lufthansa Technik is very concentrated on on-premise solutions. But we are developing parallel to this. In the application excellence part, we develop a strategy for cloud services, private, hybrid, and they will also come up MySQL and other databases. And we also have Microsoft databases for the workplace environments, for Exchange and for...
You're using database agent and APM agent separately, or you're using APM agent which is included in database?
Yeah, right now we are not using database agents. We're planning to. We have Oracle Enterprise Manager. We're planning to put in addition, not to exchange Enterprise Manager against database agent, but to put an additional agent in it for the view from the application owner sides. Nowadays it's like that. The application owner say, I think there's something in the database, gives it to the database team, and they check with their very complex enterprise tools. Okay.
Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on the mode. You said start and write mode.
Yeah. Yeah. We decided to implement the first version in a multi-tenant mode. The reason was that we wanted to give every application owner, every development team, the chance to be in his own environment and to not be influenced by other testings and not influence other testing. Just to click around and try and what gets. And another point why we came another reason why we came to this decision was the big fears in the application owners. Wow, everyone can look at the performance data of my application. They will check my performance in developing this application. So we said, okay, we leave the management totally out in the first month. They will get no dashboards, no information about the data, no information about the benefits you find. You get your environment in a multi-tenant mode where only you can log in and you can look at the data. with the knowledge of today, this really wasn't an error, you have to say. I think we started with the 3.9 version. I think it came up with the 4.0 version, that you can give more access rights, not only at the tenant layer, but also on the application layer. Nowadays, I would build up it in a single mode, so I can do the cross-application flow and cross-application analysis if I want, and I also can give restrictions on the application level below this. Did this answer your question?
But would you recommend a single or multi-tenant node? Would that be specific to?
I would recommend a single tenant mode. All the 400 agents and the nearly 100, 120 applications that we have in scope will come into a single tenant.
You know that you use APM based on the presentation out over there. What other AppDynamics suite of products do you use?
Oh, our APM tool is AppDynamics.
No, anything else? Analytics?
No. At the moment, we're using the Java agent and the machine agent. We are evaluating the end-user experience parts of the product, the browser monitoring. And the next step after that, Lufthansa Technik works like that. Just go 2 big steps, just go small steps, and take the usage from it, and get the revenue, and get the return to invest. And if this was success, then we're going to go the next step. And so I think in the version 3, we will come to this analytics part, and with the knowledge from this AppSphere also to the server and infrastructure monitoring. I think. Okay, no more question? Thank you very much for your attention.